Hello there. Welcome to this episode of Just the Dis. My name is Brian. We talk about Blu-rays here. And for this round, we are going to be talking about Powell and PRESSBURGER'S The Red Shoes. This is the new 4K from Criterion. Very excited about this. I've been a fan of the Archers, as they're also known, Powell and PRESSBURGER. Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger, the British directing duo, virtuosos that they were. I've been a fan for many years now, and a lot of it has to do with people that were fans of them. The prime one being Martin Scorsese, who has been championing them for years and years and years. Wes Anderson is also a big fan. I remember hearing him talk about, I want to say Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, but I know he's a fan of this as well, in the commentary for Rushmore. But yeah, this was the kind of thing where when I was working at my first video store back in the early 2000s, we also rented and sold Laserdiscs. And so the Criterion Laserdiscs of The Red Shoes and Life and Death of Colonel Blimp in particular, because The Red Shoes I feel like came out on DVD pretty early. So you could hear the Scorsese commentary, which I'll talk about in a second here. But the Scorsese commentary on Life and Death of Colonel Blimp is one of my favorite commentaries of all time. And that really was the one that hooked me. And this was the other one, Red Shoes and Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. I mean, there's tons of their films that I enjoy. I Know Where I'm Going is one that desperately needs a Blu-ray upgrade. That's a really wonderful film. But The Red Shoes and Colonel Blimp, two Technicolor beauties, and this one just really surprised me. I think I also read about it in Danny Perry's either Cult Movies or Guide for the Film Fanatic, one of the two. It's definitely a movie that has a lot of fans, and Scorsese actually talks about that in the commentary, just about how it is a movie that filmmakers, Hollywood filmmakers, are big proponents of, because it is a film about, you know, being a creative artist and being uncompromising in a way, and the sacrifices you make for that and all this. And he says that a lot of people just respond to that. Like, I think one of the first lines of the commentary is him talking about Brian De Palma being inspired by this movie to be a filmmaker or something. I don't know if that's 100%. It's what he's saying. Anyway, so for those that don't know, this movie is about ballet. And I think was a little reticent to begin with, because ballet is not necessarily something I personally connect with, but then again, I'm not a big sports fan, and I totally connect with sports movies. So this one, you may hear ballet and go, "Uh-oh, I'm not interested in that." I don't know. I have to tell you that it's one of those movies that you watch it and you are absolutely taken aback by how engaged you are by it, and how emotionally hooked into it you get, as well as just looking at a beautiful, beautiful movie. And this 4K looks wonderful. The colors are very rich. It's a Technicolor movie shot by Jack Cardiff, who's a really outstanding cinematographer, worked with the Archers a lot. And, you know, the idea is that there is this ballet, the ballet Lermontov. Anton Walbrook plays like the impresario of this ballet, and he is known for the artistry of his ballet, the productions themselves, the dancers, and the music. All of it comes together in his work, and he's just seen as this, like, almost rock star, you know? Like, there's this great opening bit where a bunch of students are waiting outside to get into the theater where the ballet is playing, and they like run up the stairs and they like dive into the front row of the balcony. These are the cheap seats, apparently. And there's just these quick shots of Lermontov, you know, next to the curtain, and you see his hands. He's almost like the Onceler in the Lorax. You just see his hands reaching over to get like some notes or something, and people see his hands and they flip out. That's how, virtuoso he is in this. And he's very good in the film. And in fact, I had forgotten, I think sort of thought of him as more tyrannical, and I'm not going to say if he goes there or not towards the end, but at the beginning of the film, he's much more benevolent. And the idea is basically that he has this ballet. There's a young composer, Julian Craster, played by, oh boy, what's his name? I'm going to forget the guy's name. Marius Goring. And he sees this ballet and has this very strong reaction to it. And I won't go into why he reacts the way he does, but he ends up sort of working for the ballet. And so there's a two-pronged thing. Moira Shearer plays a dancer who starts to get involved with the ballet, and it becomes not a love triangle, but there's a certain love interest stuff happening. Anyway, it's very much about creative people and being uncompromising, and the Julian Craster character is really an enjoyable character, and one that I find to be, a rarity in that you have a lot of films and TV shows where you have somebody that's supposed to be really good at what they do artistically. And I find this is always tricky. Like, if they're supposed to be good at something artistic, either being a musician or being an artist or being a filmmaker or whatever, it's hard to demonstrate that in a movie because you have to deliver the goods. And sometimes it's just a matter of people reacting like they're the best, and that's fine. But in this case, I really do feel like the Julian character is a really great composer and comes up with some really wonderful music. And the music in the film is really, really, I don't want to say modern, but it doesn't feel, if your idea of ballet is like, and forgive the, a classification, but like stuffy classical music, I feel like it's much more sweeping and emotional. And that's not to say that classical music isn't also that. It is. And I enjoy classical music personally. But there's something about the way that he composes music and the music he plays in the movie and the music he puts together that really works and really makes the movie better on that level. But yeah, production design-wise, it's gorgeous. Again, color looks really nice in this 4K. It's not going to pop off the screen like a brand new movie. It's much more of a, like I said, sort of a deep, color register, and just looks wonderful. But yeah, this movie just, the idea is it's based on this Hans Christian Andersen story about this pair of red shoes that would, were kind of magical, and they could make the wearer this incredible dancer, but the downside is that they never wanted to stop dancing. And so that sort of plays as, part of the ballet of the red shoes that they do, but also there's allegorical things that tie into the film itself. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful story, like unbelievably engaging. If you're the kind of person like I was, who was thinking it wasn't going to be your thing, it will be. And anyway, so this is a great release. We're really excited. This is one of the early 4Ks from Criterion, and it has, let's see here. Well, the master's from a 2009 restoration, but it does look really good. So you get your 4K and a Blu-ray, which obviously this has already been on Blu-ray, but you actually get a nice booklet in this one. I'll pull it out so you can see it's more significant and an actual booklet as opposed to like a fold-out thing. So folks that are into booklets know that is there. And then there's not a ton of features on it. How they talk about the restoration demonstration stuff with Scorsese. Now, the commentary from 1994, it's not just Scorsese. It's film scholar Ian Christie featuring interviews with actors Marius Goring, Moira Shearer. So we get to hear their take on the movie and their remembrance of it. Cinematographer Jack Cardiff is involved, composer Brian Easdale, and Scorsese. So it's a whole bunch of people, and it is just an excellent, excellent track. I love Life and Death of Colonel Blimp a little bit more as a commentary, but this is one of the great Criterion commentaries, especially after you've seen the movie. It just gives you so much. A profile of the Red Shoes, a 2000 documentary on the making of the film featuring interviews with members of the production team, interview with director Michael Powell's widow, editor Thelma Schoonmaker, who of course is Martin Scorsese's editor, and I think they got introduced via Scorsese, from the 2009 Cannes Film Festival. Audio recordings of actor Jeremy Irons reading excerpts from the Powell and screenwriter Michael Emmerich Pressburger's novelization of the Red Shoes, which I think came out, he says at the beginning, like 30 years after the movie. But it's great because you get some internal sort of dialogue happening, some stuff that, like, I watched the movie and I listened to about an hour of it, and it's really cool because it does tell you what you already knew, but it actually kind of gives you some insights that, fill in some gaps, and so that was very cool. Let's see here. Publicity stills and behind-the-scenes photos, gallery of memorabilia from Scorsese's collection, The Red Shoes sketches, a 1948 animated film of Hein Heckroth's painted storyboards with Red Shoes, the Red Shoes Ballet as an alternate angle. And then in the booklet you get an essay by critic David Ehrenstein and notes on the restoration by film preservationist Robert Gitt. So actually more than I thought. I underestimated how much is on this disc, but that said, really solid release from Criterion. Highly, highly recommended 4K pickup, and it looks great. Like, I put it on, and it was a feast for the eyes, as they say. So big recommend for the Red Shoes on 4K from Criterion. Just wanted to let you guys know about it as it has just come out. Save it for the next sale if you want, but if you're like me and you just couldn't wait, you have to check it out now. So definitely enjoy, and I do hope we get to see more Powell and Pressburger come on Life and Death of Colonel Blimp on 4K. I hope that's coming soon. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.